All right. Good morning, guys. Welcome back. Make sure everything's good here. I think it is. This room is so echoey. First thing I do when I move back here is get some sound deadening in this room, man. Everything look all right? Hopefully. Everything sound all right? Look all right? Still working on. Yeah, I think this is a stretched resolution. Yeah, it's all messed up, man. I don't know. Oh, I know why. Unfortunately, I can't change it now, though. That's all right. We'll just sit on, how's this look? The charts look all right? I think it's just the camera that's stretched. The chart should look good. That's all that matters. You don't need to look at me. Stretched Desi. Big Desi. No, I'm in the wrong. I'm trying to do 1920 by 1080, and I think it just doesn't work. I don't know, man. I'm about to get a new laptop just because OBS doesn't work. It's gonna. Oh, actually, it shouldn't be a problem because I don't typically stream on my laptop. So this is only for when I'm sort of away. But I'll figure it out. We'll make it work. All right, good morning, guys. Welcome back. How we doing? Yeah, we'll work through it. Hopefully, it's good enough, guys. If it looks a little blurry, make sure to change your stream to the highest resolution you could on your YouTube. I know sometimes it comes in a little bit. Here's the reason why, guys. I'll show you why. I believe this is why. On Streamlabs, on settings, and on output, I have this output resolution at 1920 by 1080. I don't think I can do that. I think that is potentially why it is a little bit wide. But I'll have to look through all these settings. It's just a disaster, honestly. It's just a disaster, honestly. Some of this, I wish it was a little bit easier to understand. Bit rates, this and that and this and all these different things. Can I just stream? Just set me up a stream. If someone wants to shoot me like a DM on Instagram or something, if you guys are familiar with stream setups, please do so. Shoot me a DM, shoot me an email, something. Help me out. Help your boy out. But yeah, I see the stretch on I see the stretch on YouTube right over here. Look how stretched up. And it says the stream's bitrate is lower than recommended. We recommend user stream bitrate of 6,800. All right. Well, at least YouTube's helping me in that sense. I don't know if I could change that bitrate right now. Let me see. Bitrate. No, it won't let me change it. So we're locked in. We're locked in. All right, guys. Good morning. Welcome back. So yesterday we saw that this camera's way too low. Hold on. Now it's too high. Desi error today. There we go. Boom. I'm in need of an IT department. Absolutely. Who wants to be my IT? All right. Good morning, guys. Welcome back. Let's get started. Let's lock it in. So yesterday, nice downside. Some panic selling on the market. Definitely saw that sort of just stacking up, right? The selling just started stacking up. This is what happens when you move up. So, we moved up so sort of consistently for so many days, weeks, and you get that first little feeling, right? That emotion comes in, and then the building blocks just start to sort of break, right? The building blocks just sort of broke yesterday. You started to get that downside move. It started to pile on top of each other, and that started some of that selling. So we moved into some pretty important levels, right? We sort of broke through some pretty important demands. We saw that sort of flush through important demands. Every time a demand broke, you got another flush. And the selling slowed down at a pretty key level, right? And you'll see it on the screen there. The selling slowed down at around the 16,760 level. This was Friday's lows. So Friday's lows is where you ultimately saw that selling slow down. That was sort of where it said, all right, that's enough. This is where we're holding. It was at 16,760. It was right here, right? 16,760, 16,760. That was where the selling ultimately stopped. So that's going to be a big level, right? That's going to be a big level today to make sure you were paying attention to. If we move back into that level, do we hold it again? That's going to be something you want to make sure you have on your screen at the 16,760. So we got that big sell-off, we got that downside, and we saw the 16,760 hold strong. There was a key level, which we'll get into in a second, that rejected sort of 30 minutes before close. That was that 16,880 level, right? That is right here, that 16,880. If you guys remember us talking about this level, it was that previous double top high. New York, thank you, man. Happy birthday, sir. God give you long life. Amen. Thank you, New York. Appreciate that, man. As always, appreciate all of the support and all of the donations. Appreciate you, New York. Hometown. All right, so the 16,880 level, that was the previous highs from the week prior. That was Thursday, Friday highs of last week. And that is where, which we'll jump into the future shortly, that is the very key level to be watching today. This is the level that I have the live stream, the title about. It's the 16,880 on the NASDAQ futures. This is going to be very key. My birthday is tomorrow, but I appreciate you guys. Any happy birthday wishes, I appreciate you. This is very key. 16,880 today. You have to pay attention to this level. There's a level on the QQQ as well, but this level on the NASDAQ is major. So let's go ahead and just jump right into this today. Let's jump right into it because we got a lot of things to review. We got a lot of sort of changes moving, right? This is what trading's all about, guys. So if yesterday scared you off, yeah, welcome to the big leagues, man, because this is when decisions need to be made. This is when money can be made, right? These types of moves and this type of sort of emotion, this action is really what you should be looking forward to. So it's time to lock in, right? It's time to pay attention to what this next move could be on the market, and let's review it. Let's be the ones that are ready to go. So here we go. Let's go right into it. First of all, before we get started, I say let's go over the economic calendar. Let's make sure to pull that up because we do have GDP today. So let me go ahead. You're going to look at my stretched face here for a second. So hello, welcome back. Stretched Desi is back on the screen. Hopefully you enjoy that. Let's go to the economic calendar on Forex Factory. Yeah, look at that. I see my stretched face on YouTube. All right, it looks great on OBS on Streamlabs. So man, does it look stretched on YouTube? I'll figure it out. All right, so here we go. So here's today's economic calendar. Today is Thursday, December 21st, and we have GDP at 8:30 today. So right here, GDP 8:30. You guys can see right there. That's going to be big. That's in about 20 minutes, and that will be our first economic event of the day. Next, we have that unemployment claims as well. So GDP, unemployment claims, those are big events today. And let's see if that either accelerates the downside again or if that sort of moves us back to the upside. So GDP, unemployment claims this morning. Make sure you're paying attention to that. Well, obviously, you'll see it live if you're here in the live stream. So that's that. Jay Price with the gifted memberships. Appreciate you, Jay. Jay's a great guy, man. I gotta meet Jay. Probably one of the top supporters, man. Appreciate you, Jay. Esther, TJ, John, Space Cowboy, and Thunder Frenzy. Thank you, Jay. All right, so here we go. Let's jump right into the futures. Let's jump right into the NASDAQ. And you know what? I think it's probably better if I just do this because you do not need to look at me. Bam. All right, so here we go. What were the highs of the previous week, right? What were the highs of the previous week on the NASDAQ that were so important once we got back above it, right? Once we got back above it, we had these rejections here, right? We had these rejections here, right? Once we got above it here, you saw the NASDAQ continue to the upside, right? After breaking over these levels, right? After breaking over those rejection points, we were able to hold above and continue to the upside, right? So you can see today, look at what you're potentially seeing. You got your break, right? Is this a retest and a rejection of these highs? This is all that really matters today, right? This is really the most important watch of the day. Does this level at 16,880 turn into a rejection? Do the previous highs from last week cause the market to stay lower? And if that's the case, then I believe you could see more downside, right? If this turns into a rejection here, which was the rejections from the previous week, then I would expect to see more downside. That's very key. And even if you get, right, and if we zoom in here a little bit, let's go to the 15-minute chart. Let's zoom in just a little bit further, right? If you get upside from here, let's say hypothetically this holds today, and you still need to be careful of this level at 920, right? Watch 920. And then the next level above that is the 970, right? So these are your two supplies above that I would be paying attention to if we get a little bit of further upside here. Let me go ahead and sort of scale this down. So right here at 920 and right here at 970, right? And I say that because of this low, this high, right? And then these lows here, right? So you can see those levels above. You can see right there, right there. Those are two levels that I would be paying attention to if this NASDAQ continues higher. Because there is definitely possibility that this sort of retests some of these levels, right? And sees some potential rejections up at these levels. That is very possible. So I would be watching, first of all, this 880 zone, right? This is big. I'd be watching that 920, right here, this 920, and I'd be watching the 970. Those are my levels to be paying attention to today if we retrace any of this downside. Robert, thank you, man. 1999. I appreciate the donation, man. Happy early birthday. Thank you so much, Robert. Appreciate you. Thank you for all the birthday wishes, guys. So let's pull out the old fibs because I know some of the fib boys are probably really excited today. I know, well, we got, how many people you think are drawing out these fibs today? I bet you a lot. Let's take it from the exact high to the exact low of this move. And so the 50% retracement there is right here, right? The 50% retracement is 920. The 61.8 is right around that 970. So those fibs actually line up pretty well, right, with our supply levels. So 50% retracement at 920, around that 61.8, right around that 950, 970. So those fibs actually line up pretty well with our supply levels today. So let's go back out to the hourly chart. Actually, you know what? Let's go to the, I don't mind the hourly here. Let me zoom into the hourly. So you guys can sort of get a picture here, right, on this hourly. You can sort of get that picture here. If the NASDAQ can hold back above these highs, I believe that you could try to retrace a little bit higher, right? If the NASDAQ can hold above this high here, if the NASDAQ can regain these lows, or I'm sorry, these highs from last week, if the NASDAQ can regain 16,880 and start to show a demand there today, I think you could retrace towards that 920, right? And I think you could retrace towards that 970, right? Very potential to see that if this maintains above 880 today. All right, so again, I think it is all about 16,880 today. We've talked about this level previously. This was that level that I talked to you guys about, saying that if we break that level, we could see some potential downside. And I want to show you something yesterday intraday that was very key. Here was yesterday, after the major selling was sort of slowing down, you got a little bit of a jump here, right? And look at where you jumped into. You got this jump into that 880, which rejected for more downside just yesterday, right? Just yesterday on the 5-minute chart, you saw that. You saw a sort of slowing stopped. We got a little bit of a demand bounce, and we moved into that 880 level, which rejected. So if I sort of go over here, right, this is going to be, like I've already said multiple times, this is going to be that level that I would be very, very closely watching. You could move it down, it looks like, to around that 860. So I think it's anywhere between that 16,860 to 16,880, all in that area right there, right? This is the level, and I hope this makes sense to you. This is the level that if you hold, you could see that push right back into some of these levels. If you fail to hold this level today, right, and you start to turn this into rejections, this is where I think you could get that downside back towards the 760 level. All right. So that's my NASDAQ plan today. This is what I'm watching. This is very key. You have to pay attention to this. You have to stay unbiased. You have to just really, really watch the action that happens in this zone. Right? It's going to be a very important day to see how this market can either regain itself or, really start to give up. And it is abundantly clear on the QQQ today. Abundantly clear on the QQQ today. You could very, very clearly see this high, right? Look at this. This high, and this low, right? That is clear as it could be. Now, look at what you are potentially doing today. You have a big breakdown. You have a hold of demand, and you are pushing back into the exact potential rejection point. Look how clear that could be. And this is very clean, right? So if the QQQ cannot regain this last week high here, then I would expect this to stay relatively weak, right? If the QQQ cannot get back above these highs, right, from last week, set 406.60. That's that high here. That's that high here. And that is the exact low that we previously talked about, which held, right? You can see right here we had rejections, rejections, which turned into support, right? And so when the QQQ did that, it led to further upside. Now, if the QQQ goes back to turning this into a rejection point, I would expect the weakness and the continuation to the downside, all right? So that is very, very key today. 406.60, last Wednesday's, Thursday's, Friday highs. Does the QQQ reject it? Or does the QQQ regain this level, turn this back into demand, and do the bulls fight this move back? All right, that is going to be the key level to watch today. Without a doubt. Without a doubt, that is the level 406.60 zone. Keep an eye on that QQQ level. The QQQ demand stepped in around that 403.50, which was the demand back from Friday, right? A little bit of demand there from Wednesday. That was a nice demand hold, right? Very key there. This is these drawing tools are called Demo Pro. Demo Pro on the Mac store. I'll pull it up for you. App Store. Hopefully this doesn't share any sensitive information here. Demo Pro. Right here, guys. Right there. That's it. Demo Pro. All right. All right. The Fib Boys. Let's see what Fib Boys have to say today. Yeah, that's the 50% retracement, isn't it? Yep. That is the 50% retracement. So, 406.60. 406.60. All right? That's the key. That's the key. All right? And so, I want to make something very clear, guys, right? A day like yesterday brings out the emotion. It brings out the ego. It brings out everything that's nasty about a trader, right? Oh, I told you we needed to go down. I told you this. I told you that. This is like any other day. You approach today like any other day, right? If you see supply rejections here, you better not be longing, right? If you see supply rejections here, you better not be longing into supply, right? This is like any other day, and you need to be trading like it's any other day. You do not, right? If you think, okay, hey, I'm bearish, I want the market to go down, there's no way this goes back up, right? If that's how you approach today, and this QQQ starts to regain this level, right? And the QQQ starts to hold back above these lows, and the QQQ starts to hold back above these highs, right? And you keep shorting into this, right? Because you can't believe that the market's pushing back higher. You are going to lose your ass, right? Or, flip side, if you're bullish and you say, oh, we're going to come right back, that's what's going to happen, I know it's going to happen, and this thing starts to reject these highs, and the QQQ starts to reject these lows, and you start to see this stepping in, and you keep longing into this supply, you're going to lose your ass, right? So you need to really pay attention today. This is not the day to be biased to a certain direction. This is the day to watch this level on the QQQ and make your decisions based off that level. I think this is abundantly clear and very important to really come into today without that mindset. Let's go to the ES. All right, ES. So, hourly chart ES, 30-minute chart ES. You guys can see big drop, right? Big aggressive drop. This is the level that held yesterday, right? We had this whole zone around this 47.50, 47.60, which held again yesterday, right there. All right, that is the level to be watching. That's the demand below that held yesterday after the big drop. We had that aggressive drop right into these lows. This is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday lows, which held the market up around that 47.50, 47.60. Now, you're getting a little bit of reversal, right? But where are you reversing into? You're reversing into our 47.80 level. If you guys remember our level around that 47.80, right? This has been an important level here on the ES around this 47.80. So, does the NASDAQ, or does the ES, right? Does the ES come up into this 47.80, right? And does it reject that level? Right there, 47.80. Does the ES get above this? Does the ES get above this 47.80? Right here. Do we get above it, right? And do we turn it back into support, which would push us towards the 47.90? This is the key level in my opinion, this 47.80, 47.90. Honestly, in my opinion, this 47.80 is important, but I have to be honest, I think the 47.90 is really the level to watch right here. This right here and this right here. All right, I think that is the key on the ES. All right, I think that's really the key retracement level. That's probably about the 50% retracement as well. Let's take it from like 47.50. Yeah, so that's pretty much the 50% retracement. So if the ES comes back up, right, this is the level to watch. Do we start to see that rejection at the previous supply and at the 50% retracement? Or do you get back above that 50% retracement? Do you start to hold above it? And if you do, right, we could definitely battle back. We could definitely battle back. So 47.90 I think that's really the key level. I do have a little bit of something here at 47.80. I'm going to keep it on my charts. I don't think it's like the major level. I think 47.90 is, but I do see a little bit of reaction around here, so that's why I am going to keep it on my screen. All right, so 47.80, 47.90, I think that's the big one, right? I'm actually going to, you know what I'm going to do today? This is how I'm going to do this today. I'm going to do this. I'm going to put the levels that I believe are the extremely key levels in this sort of gold colored zone. That's sort of that golden zone on the fib, and so it's also the sort of the golden zone that I would be watching on the market. So for me, it's that 860 to 880 on NQ, and for me on the ES, it is the 47.90. All right, those are sort of those. That's sort of that key, sort of middle of the seesaw level that I would be watching. All right, let's go to the SPY. We'll jump into the SPY, and then we'll get GDP numbers here in about 4 minutes. 4 minutes. All right, so right here, SPY, big downside yesterday, right? Slicing through demands. We held around this 468, 468.50. That is right here, 468, 468.50. That's that demand low. A little bit of a double bottom low there on the SPY. Now, the level that we're holding above right now is 470, and this 470 level was very key last week. Or on Monday of this week. We had this downside move on the SPY, right, which we broke back above, right here. We broke above it, and we held 470. And that hold at 470, it was very instrumental to this upside continuation on the SPY. So today, you can see that we regained that 470 on SPY. What I would be watching today is whether the SPY can maintain above that 470 level. Keep an eye on that 470 level. If the SPY starts to hold here, right, if we start to see some demand stepping up at 470, this will probably push us back towards that 472, which is that, in my opinion, the very important level to be watching today. So 472, sort of around 472, 471.50, but I'm going to keep it at 472. 472 was the level that held here on Monday, that pushed us sort of higher on the SPY. This was also those rejections from back on Thursday of last week. So what I would be watching on SPY today, these are the two things I'd be watching. Does 470 hold? And if it does, you push probably into that 472. And if we do push into that 472, right, I would be watching to see if this holds or rejects. All right, does this hold? Does this push higher and hold at 472? Or does this start to reject at 472? That's that key area that I would be watching today on the SPY. 472, 470. Let's see what this SPY wants to do here. We have GDP in about 2 minutes, so that's going to be very key. So I would be watching this zone right here. 470 demand, 472 supply. Do we hold this? Do we fail it? Do we hold above 472, or do we reject that? Let me go back to the QQQ real quick, because I want to put this as a, I want to turn this gold here. 1 second. let's go and turn this gold right there, because that really is the golden zone for me today. Right, that really is the golden zone, and you can already start to see, right? Look at what you're starting to see here. You're starting to see a little bit of a rejection stepping in up at this level. So this is big. This is very big, and I would be we'll stay here for the next 50 seconds and wait for GDP. But that is, in my opinion, the level to be watching. All right, let's go over to the NASDAQ futures for this GDP number. You can see right now as we speak, the NASDAQ futures are struggling, right in that zone, right in our golden zone. So here we go. This is going to be big. If you guys could, real quick, press that like button. Try to get us to 1,000 likes today. I'd appreciate that. I'd appreciate your support. This is, yeah, you can feel it, man. You can feel the juices starting to flow, right? The market's starting to get interesting. Yesterday's move really got things moving, so I'm happy. There's going to be some opportunities, but the people that are stuck on a certain side, unable to think both ways, those are the ones that are going to lose money in this period, right? We got to make sure we're open to both sides here. So a little bit of a drop, a little bit of a pop. Really nothing going on there on the NASDAQ just yet. Let's see if we can get the numbers here. Let me go to the SPY. So the SPY looks to still be holding that 470 level. Looks to be defending that 470. No news yet. Okay, here we go. Jobless claims 205 versus 214. Yeah, we had the 20-year bond yesterday. Yep. GDP 4.9 versus 5.2. Okay, interesting. So quarter over quarter for Q3. So 4.9 versus 5.2. Prior was 2.1. So you had a much better GDP versus prior, but lower than estimations. Okay. So let's see what the market is reacting to that. Continuing jobless claims. Okay, pretty much in line. So GDP slightly lower than expectations, but higher than prior. Why is there what is this? Shiba Inu burn rate. Why is this news? Shiba Inu burn rate surges 28,000% with 6 million Shiba burned. Oh, man. Why is that a headline? Tell me. Okay, so let's jump back into the charts here. So what are we getting? NASDAQ is, as of now, maintaining that golden zone. It's maintaining that 860. Okay, so that's key, right? QQQ is pushing right into that golden zone. That's going to be very major today, guys. This is the thing to watch, in my opinion. This 406.60. Do we reject this high, right? Do we reject these previous lows, or do we get back above them? I think that's the main watch of the day. Okay? Let's jump into the Russell real quick. See what the Russell really didn't lose it yesterday, man. We got a little bit of downside, but really nothing crazy on the Russell. Still very much within its channel, and sort of just retraced back to the channel. This is the level to watch again on the Russell, 2030. Right there, 2030 on the RTY. All right. Oh, now we're sort of moving, huh? QQQ. Okay, this is going to be big. Qs are coming in. Let's see what happens there. All right, let's get into some stocks. So you guys saw my video on Tuesday about Tesla. I was able to scalp a very nice profit on Tesla yesterday off the 255 demand, and I scaled out. Now, I will be 100% honest with you guys. I had a very, very difficult time scaling out of that trade. I did not want to scale out of it. I really wanted to hold on. I wanted to see that larger term move sort of set up. So it took a lot out of me to take some profits on Tesla yesterday. However, someone in my Discord reminded me of something, which actually this is, again, and I'm not just sort of selling myself here or selling the group. It could be my group. It could be anyone's group. He said, make sure you remember what happened on Shopify. Now, if you guys follow my channel, there was a Shopify trade maybe like 6 months ago that I really liked, and it definitely caused a little bit of motion in me. And I held on to a position that I should not have done, and I gave back all of my profits. I was up $10,000 and I gave it all back. Now, this is something that it will happen, right, in your trading career, and it happened to me. And someone I forgot who it was, but I got to find out who it was, because shout out to you. They reminded me. They said, hey, make sure you remember what happened on Shopify. And that little reminder, I was like, all right, I got to do the right thing here. I took some profits up at that 260 supply on Tesla yesterday, and then you saw what happened on Tesla, obviously, later in the day. And if I didn't take my profits, right, I would have gave back everything. So it's just another reminder in trading, right? No matter how much you like something, you have to take those profits, right? You have to take them at your levels, trust the levels. No matter how much you like something, trust the levels. And I'm happy I did, right? I took those profits at that 260, and man, very happy I did that. And sometimes, right, and this is what happens, right? Sometimes you're gonna look back and say, man, I wish I didn't take profits, right? I wish I held on to it, because let's say Tesla broke 260 and you're like, man, I wish I held, look at Tesla, it's at 270, 280. I wish I didn't scale out, or I wish I didn't take profits. However, that is a much better situation. That situation, being in that situation as a trader, is much better than having to say, man, do I wish that I didn't hold on, right? Man, do I wish that I took profits and I gave back everything. That's a worse situation. That's a situation you don't want to be in. All right, so you'd rather be in the situation of taking profits and wishing you didn't than not taking profits and wishing you did. All right, that's how I think of it. Always play that protective side, man. The market can take your money away from you in a blink of an eye, and so I would always stay protective. So just a little bit of a pep talk, because yesterday was a really good example of that. Another fantastic reminder of that for me, right, as a trader. And sometimes you need those reminders, right, because maybe you get a little bit confident, right? You're like, oh, I'm crushing it in the markets, and I can do whatever I want. And then you get a quick reminder, a little slap on the ass, like yesterday, where you remember, how quickly things can turn on you. So very important, guys, right? Very important. That's why we always practice risk management. Days like yesterday, right, could sort of they could smack you in the face. There's no one to go home and cry to, right? There's no one to say, hey, I need a refund. All right, there's no one there. The market's not giving you no refunds, man. So just play it protective. All right, so let's jump into Tesla. So we talked about that Tesla weekly. We talked about that upside that I was looking for. In that video on Tuesday, I said that we need to break 260 for me to feel more confident on this trade. And it did not, right? We had that very nasty 260 rejection, and we saw that downside move. Am I still in Tesla? I have 2 contracts of Tesla calls, yes. I had 25 yesterday, scaled out into 2, taking profits, and I did hold 2 overnight. So am I giving back some profits on the 2? Yeah, of course. Who cares? That doesn't matter to me. That's sizing, that's risk management. Did I not, if I would have held my full 25, today would be a much uglier day for me. So anyways, yes, I am still holding some next week's 2 contracts in next week's December 29 260s. So here's Tesla, right? You can see right here, we had this previous rejections right here, and right here, right? This was that 4 hour, this is the 4 hour chart. We had this 4 hour previous high on Tesla at around this 245, 247. This was our major demand level that I've been sort of eyeing. Now Tesla yesterday, look at what it did, right? We dropped right into that demand low. Right, you can see right here, we dropped right into that demand low, which held here, and you can see yesterday, that is exactly where we dropped into. And you can see this morning, you are getting that sort of demand bounce off this level. So, really, right, if you look at this Tesla chart, really, guys, what is this? This is nothing but a channel, right? So right here, really, what is this Tesla chart? This is just a channel between 245 and 260. It's about a 15-point channel, right? And Tesla looks like it's trying to stay within it. So that's how I would trade Tesla here. I would look for longs off this 245, 247, and I would look for shorts up at that 260. Right? And it's really nothing different than what we have seen and we talk about on this live stream every day, right? Channel trading. So 245, 247, you can see that demand held very nicely, and you can see that very strong rejection that stepped in again up at 260, right? That's your supply above. Now for Tesla to sort of get me back into it, and for me to be really confident on that Tesla video that I made, that longer term view that I sort of am looking for on Tesla, I need this over 260, right? After seeing yesterday's rejections, it is very clear that I need Tesla over 260 to feel like it's going to continue higher, right? Because that rejection yesterday was nasty, right? And I'm not going to hold longs into that 260 level. That is very, very clear. You could also be monitoring around this 254 today, right? This is also a very potential rejection point that I would be paying attention to, right around that 254. 254. All right. So, hey, nice downside, but, right, I would not, I know everyone's, some people, I don't know, I'm not saying everyone, but I know yesterday definitely got some of that bearish emotion going. This is not a break of structure on Tesla still, right? So a little bit cautious here, getting too aggressive on the short side, right? This is actually still a very structured upside move on Tesla. Look at this hold above the 4-hour highs, right? Very important here to pay attention to. You have this channel, and you are still holding, right? We talked about these building blocks. You're still holding above that channel low, or that previous channel high, right? So this is still channel trading on Tesla. Now, if Tesla does something like this, right, then it's over, right? If Tesla does something like that, it is over, right? That's where the trade is over, because that would be a break back under the previous channel highs. All right, let's continue because we got more to go over today, and we're sort of running a little behind. So, Nvidia. Here's a major level to be watching today on Nvidia. It is right around this I don't know if I want to call it 490 or 480. 490 or 489. I'm not sure which one I want to call it. I think I'm going to go on the safe side and call it 490, right? Because what you can see right here is we had previous lows, right, at that 490. Are we mooning? I wish that I recorded my conversation yesterday with Larry. I have a buddy, Larry, who's he's a funny guy, and he's like, I think he's maybe in his late 50s, early 60s, and he used to trade like Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. He made a lot of money on those, and we were just talking about, I don't want to get into it. This is too long of a conversation to get into on the live stream with the time that we have, but maybe for another time. So 490, right? You guys can see right here, 490 demand, right? You can see that 490 demand that was previously there on Nvidia. So you are coming into that 490 today. That is going to be the key. Does Nvidia get back above 490, right? And does it turn this back into a demand? If that happens, Nvidia will push to the upside again, right? Now, same thing on the flip side. If Nvidia starts to reject here, right, and you start to see this rejection step in, Nvidia will be tired and it will have a tough time getting over that 490. So, all about 490 today. I think that's very clear. That's Tuesday's lows. That's the Wednesday after hours lows, right? That is the level to watch today. If we have time at the end of the stream, I'll go over it. So stick around to the end of the stream to hear that story with Larry. Wow, AMD. Damn, that's a pretty big move on AMD already. Holy shit. All right, so AMD, you guys can see right here. What did it do? It held channel lows, right? Look at this on AMD. Then, yeah, the market's going to give you a refund. Gets a good one, Sam. Looks like the market's going to give you a refund if you held on yesterday. So 136, right? You can see this is it, right? This is our channel that we've talked about for how long? We've been sitting in this channel for weeks. I'm sure you're tired of hearing 140 and 136 on AMD. But, right, look at what AMD did. It moved down into channel lows. It held channel lows, right? That channel is still alive. Now, this is the level that you have to watch today. It's right here. It is this 138, right? It's 138 level. If we reject this 138, AMD is going to move lower. If we get above this 138, right, AMD will push to the 140 again. So, for me, it's all about here, right? 138. Do we hold above 138 today? Do we turn it into demand? If so, 140. And if we turn 138 into rejections, back to 136, right? That's the key. Let's go to Meta. No, not Metas. Meta. Oh my God. Oh my God. What a hold. Yeah, Meta was never even that weak yesterday, right? Meta was not that weak yesterday, even with the downside. Meta, I believe, held green yesterday. I know Google closed green, but Meta as well. So you can see right here, I think it's this 354, right? I think that's your supply above. 354, maybe you even bring it up to 355 just to play it safe. I would probably watch 354 and 355. I'd watch the whole zone. But you can see that that's your rejection high up there, right? That's your rejection high up there. Now, you can see right here, right? That's your hold, your previous highs, and your hold, right? You look, previous highs and your hold, right? Right there. Look at how clean that hold on Meta was yesterday. On Wednesday, yesterday, right? That squeeze off that level yesterday. This is exactly what we talked about in the live stream yesterday. You have this break, you have this retest, previous highs into new lows. Bam, beautiful trade. Now, you're coming back down into it, but look at what Meta did, right? It pretty much held this again. It's just sort of creating a new channel here. So what would I be looking at? I'd be watching the channel highs, right? Around this 355, 354. And I'd be watching the channel lows, right? And I would be trying to trade within this channel. Rejections possible here, right? Or a break and retest above, right, for more upside. Or, right, if you move back to the downside, you get that potential demand hold down at that 347. We'll go over the NASDAQ again at the end of the stream, guys. Let me get through some stocks for you here. All right, Amazon. So, Amazon... First of all, yesterday we were sort of talking about this Amazon sort of downtrend and a hold at 152. Bam. I mean, what a squeeze yesterday. That was really nice. Didn't catch that. That was just way too quick. But Amazon has reclaimed a very important level, right? So let's first look at this. If we look at this Amazon chart, you can see right here that we held that 152.70. We held that 152.70. Tony, I'm going to give you one last chance, man. I'm not going to kick you this time, but guys, spamming tickers in this chat does not work, okay? This is not spam your tickers and Desi gets off track and starts looking at it for you. I'm sorry, man, but I'm on a certain schedule, and this is what we do here. So FedEx, if I have time, maybe I'll get to it, but I got to get through the stuff that I got to get through. 152.70, 152.70, and look at where we reclaimed today, right? Look at that reclaim at 152.70. So that is very important, right? If Amazon's above that 152.70, this ain't, right, this pullback is not nothing. It's nothing yesterday, right? We're right back above Tuesday's lows. We're right back above yesterday's sort of open area. We are right back above that level, right? So very important there. I would say, yeah, I mean, it's a little bit difficult to spot a supply here. It is just a tad bit difficult to spot a supply. I would say it's around that low from yesterday. Probably around this 154 area, right? And somewhere in this low is where I'd be watching. But it's really, I mean, yeah, this is sort of a messy chart, right? Because look, if I draw a line here at these highs, it really wasn't respected yesterday at all. So I don't like that. If I draw a level, let's say, at these highs, right? Not really any respecting of that level yesterday, right? And so that's a little difficult when I don't see respects at a certain level. I would say that this 153.75 is a good demand to watch now, right here. You see this? So if we hold above that 153.75, I'd say that could be a good demand to watch, right? Because you're back above this little previous low, previous high. So that's okay, and you can see that we just held that level actually. So that would be the level I'd watch on Amazon today. I would watch this 153.75, right? And that would be, if you hold above that, that would be something that I'd look for further upside on. 153.75, that's this previous high, these previous lows. That's a key right there. Google, what a hold of 140. And so Google actually closed the day green yesterday, if anyone was not aware of that. This was the only tech stock, I believe, that was green yesterday at close, or at least major tech stock. And look at what it just did, right? Can't make that up. Can't make that up on Google. Previous high is 140, right? And look at what it did. Break, retest, beautiful hold this morning, and you're getting upside continuation. So Google, not the one to mess around with, it looks like today to the downside. That is a very strong hold right there on Google. Regardless of the market move that you saw yesterday, this thing still held the previous highs from last Thursday at 140. So if you can look for Google off 140, that is something I would look for. This is a 4-hour, right, major high. 4-hour major high at 140 that just held really, really well this morning. So watch 140 Google, right? That is very interesting. 140 Google. And then, of course, for supplies above, right, I would just sort of watch where you saw rejections yesterday, right? That's what we're looking at. 142, 143, I think would be the two levels just to be a little bit cautious of. Whatever you saw yesterday, where are the rejections that stepped in yesterday, it looks around that 142, 143. But that 140 hold, very key there. What else do I want to go over? Let's go over Apple, because Apple pulled back yesterday, but it still held a very important level, right? Look at this Apple chart. Yes, it pulled back, but what did it do? It did not break structure, right? Apple did not break this structure. Previous rejection highs into demand lows, and that is still very valid there on Apple. 195, right? Pull back to 195, we held. Pull back to 195, we held, right? So that 195 on Apple is still there, right? And I would not be shorting into that 195 level. If we hold that level, if we turn this back into a support, which we are right now, right? Then I would look to see if this sort of pushes back towards that supply level around that 198.50. So 195 demand still holding on Apple. That's your key down below. We might be out of time here. I'm trying to think what else I want to look through. We went over Nvidia, AMD, Tesla, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Meta. Let's take a quick look at Netflix. Netflix. Yeah, I mean, it's still holding this. In all honesty, it's still, I think it's this whole zone that's going to be demand, sort of right in there, right? Because you can see we have the highs, the highs, this demand, right? You're sort of maintaining this zone. You can see Netflix is sort of holding that 490, 492 still, right? That's a pretty solid hold on Netflix still. So 490, 492, this whole zone is where those reactions are coming in, right? I would watch that zone, and if Netflix can hold above that, right, this can try again. So watch that 490, 492 on Netflix. Let's jump into Coin real quick. I mean, what a beautiful hold again. Coin is on the stair step, right? Right now, Coin's on the what's it called? Oh my God. What's the workout equipment? It's not called the stair step. What the hell is it called? Clearly, I do not get on that machine. The stair step, the stair climber, right? What are they? Stairmaster. The Stairmaster. There it is. So, Coinbase is on the Stairmaster. That's going to be our new thing, right? If a stock's stair stepping, we're on the Stairmaster. So, we are on the stair stepper here, or the Stairmaster on Coinbase, right? And why do I say that? Well, look at this chart, right? Look at this chart. Does this not look like a Stairmaster? Right? So, you can see right here, Coinbase, right? Previous highs, new lows, previous highs, new lows, right? And we're on the Stairmaster. So that's what I'd be watching, right? Where do you want to step, right? Where do you want to step when you go on the Stairmaster? Here we're coming out with all the things today. Are you gonna step on the middle of the stair and your foot's gonna fall down, right? If you step in the air, right? If you're on the Stairmaster and you're stepping in the air, which is right here, this is air, right? Your foot's gonna fall down. Now, if you step at this actual stair, what's gonna happen? It's gonna push you up, right? So that's where you're looking to trade, right? You're looking to trade at the actual stair. And so would I be trading Coinbase where it is today? No, there's nothing here, right? Where is the next trade on Coinbase? It's either above 170, right? Right? It's either above 170 up here on the next stair, right? Or it's back at the previous stair around that 160, 150, right? So, yeah, nothing on Coinbase there. All right, let's jump into the futures. Let's get back into the futures real quick. Let's get a quick update and see what happened here. Because, man, did we move, huh? Damn. All right, so what are you watching? Okay, we need to adjust real quick. If you're still here, press that like button, man. I mean, if you're still here and you haven't pressed the like button, then please respectfully don't come back. I say that with all due respect, right? If you're still here and you can't press the like button, I say, with all due respect, don't come back. So I'm just kidding, guys. But yeah, I would very much appreciate if you guys could press that like button. 16,920, guys. That's it, right? Right here. If you hold that right here today, right, that's going to be a potential hold level, all right? And that could push us higher. Where did we supply reject? Right at 970, guys, right? This is not voodoo magic, right? These are just technical levels. You can see how they're respected, right? You can see how they're respected. Previous highs, previous lows, and you can see the rejection that's coming in now. So 970, right, and 920. 970, right, and 920, right here. That's your level now. That's your little zone. 920, right? 970. So that's your zone today. 970, 920. All right. So big levels there. And on the ES, okay, we're at the golden zone. Yeah, we're right at it. 47.90. Right? We're right at that golden zone. Big, right? Big. Very big. 47.90, 47.90, 47.90. And you can see can't make this one up. Can't make that up. 47.90. So that is going to be the level, man, that you need to get above today. If you want to see upside, you have to be above 47.90. This is the key level right here. You either get that or you get that. 47.90. Keep an eye on it today. Welcome back to my stretched face. Thank you guys again for all the support. I appreciate you guys being here. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. I got to get back to the community and start posting some charts. I'm a little bit behind today, so press that like button if you guys could. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you again for being here. Good luck today. You can see how the levels have already respected themselves this morning. Respect the levels. Please do not trade with a bias. Today is not the day to do that. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys tomorrow for a little birthday stream. It is my birthday, but I'll be here. My face is like this wide. All right, guys, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.